Hey guys, here I am. Welcome to Becca Scoop's live stream on Sunday evening, or if you're overseas, it might be early in the morning over there in the UK. Welcome. I'm so glad to see you guys. I've been watching the chat and well, happy Sunday. I have got a lot to go over, a lot to go over. Yeah, it's jam packed. I'm going to have to, like I've done before, take like halfway through, take a little break, disappear for a second, and bring up more video clips. You guys know how I do it. But before I get to all of that, I wanted to welcome some people. I want to thank all my mods for being here. Thank you guys so much. You guys do a great job. But let's give some thanks to a few other people who are here with us. We've got Lanky Tour, 9.99. Thank you, Lanky. You are always so kind and always so generous. We've also got Claire Power. Claire, so glad to see you. So glad to see you. She says, love you, Becca. We keep on rolling until the end. Hi, chat. Glad to see you all in here. Well, we're so happy you're here too, Claire. Thank you for being here. And Corinne became a member. Welcome. Welcome, Corinne. Thank you so much. Of course, one of my mods, and Fran, member for 10 months. We missed you. I missed you guys too. I'm so glad to be here and so glad to see all you guys. When I look, you guys know when I look this way, I'm looking at the chat. Thank you for being here. And next up, Corinne, member for 13 months. Love you, Becca. Missed you too, Corinne. And we got Abs Marlowe, 5 pounds. Becca, weighted up in the Wales, UK. Thank you so much. Is what I was just talking about. She adds, she thinks she's champagne in a tall glass when she's really lukewarm pee in a plastic cup, worried for her mental state. Yeah. So I know what we're all, the big buzz is about this video that came out, right? And when we're talking about her mental state, and I'm going to get to that. I saw Ryan Anderson downplayed it. I'll get to that. Yeah, I have a few things to say about it, and we're going to go over a timeline, actually. We're going to go over a timeline of events. So hope you guys are looking forward to that. Let me get to a few more here before we get rolling. We got Claire again, who gifted 5 Becca Scoops memberships. Claire, you were always one of the most generous, kindest people around. So thank you so much. One of my favorites, Garfield loves lasagna, $4.99. I cannot wait to see what's in store tonight. It's exciting. You're gonna love it, Garfield. It has been a crazy few days in the Gypverse. Love you, Becca. I love you guys back. Let's take a couple more. Ashley, another one of my favorites, Ashley 84, who's been a member for 6 months. Thank you, Ashley. We love and support you, Becca. Thank you so much, Ashley. I really appreciate that. Another favorite, main chick Carrie coming in, one of my mods, member for 13 months. That's from the very beginning when, wow, you've been here for forever, main chick Carrie. Glad to see you back. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And we got Kubi Doo. Love the name Kubi Doo, member for 2 months. Thank you, Becca, for all your hard work. We love you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Kubi Doo. And Connie Blue Sky 72, member for 3 months. We missed you, Becca. I missed all of you guys so much. You guys do not know. And we'll take one more. Taminator 615. Love the Taminator, member for 7 months. Gypsy's true soulmate is Satan. Okay, we'll end on that one for right now. We'll come back to your guys' comments about, like I said, about halfway through. Let's go ahead and get started with everything. Let me go ahead and we'll put the comments up, and let's go back over here in the little StreamYard studio where I'm at. Okay. So I'm sure you all have seen it. Oh, well, let me take that one comment off. Hold on. Sorry about that, Taminator. I'm sure you guys have already seen the video, the big video that was supposedly leaked. I guess it was leaked. Who'd want that kind of a video out of Gypsy having a complete meltdown, cutting up a blanket. I guess she said she made for Ken. We're going to go ahead and take a look at it because it's really quick. So even if you've seen it, we'll look at it again just for reference. since we'll be talking about this a little bit during this live stream. So let me go ahead and find that. Here we go.
This is all that I've ever been to you. This is how I feel about you. Lies! All it is lies! Lies, lies, lies! Ugh.
I want to stop it here and make a few comments. So, okay, very strange. I mean, strange to me. I don't know if it's strange to you guys, but strange to me that she sets up obviously she sets up the camera. So she knows she's going to have a meltdown and she wants to show it to Ken, I guess. I think it's weird she wants to set up the camera. Like she wants to film this. Like, I don't know. You guys, whatever. What do you guys think? I mean, it's some people, now, not a lot of people, but I saw a few commenters on this video say, did she stage it? I don't think, well, she did stage it in a way, obviously, because she sets up the camera. Kind of like when she set up the camera when the baby was colicky. Remember that? That was another little tiny meltdown, right? She sets up the camera and then she sits down in the rocking chair and then the baby's having this colic episode and she's very upset about it. So I just wanted to pause it there. Let's continue.
Fucking soulmates, the hell you are! The hell you are! Lies! All of it! All of it! All of it! Nothing but fucking lies!
Of course, poor Parker there in the background. I've gotten emails about Parker last 48 hours. What about the dog? I'm like, yeah. And where's the baby, right? People are wondering, was the baby at home during this time? I don't know.
Lies, manipulation. Fuck you. Go back to your bimbo blonde whore.
So obviously this is a tantrum about the blonde bimbo or Ken's former girlfriend. And we already have seen not a crash out like this before, but she's referenced this during the Lifetime lockup episode where she finds the hairbrush with the blonde hairs in it. And it's a round brush. Remember this? It's a round brush. I have the video clip. I'll play it in a minute. The round brush. And Ken's like, that's not mine. No, Ken's like, that's mine. And all of us women, girls are like, no, I don't think that's your brush. A guy, well, I guess a guy, if he had longer hair, could use a round brush, but yeah.
Fuck you.
Now, this comes from Audrey. She also posted this after it, which, you know, of course, showing the stabbing video, saying she's the same. Of course, y'all have seen this before too. Of course, she wasn't having a tantrum when she made this video, was she? She was planning and plotting the murder of her mother. So yeah, I'll go ahead and end it there. So that's that. And so I've been asked, and when this video came out, I got, well, not a lot, but got several emails. When did this happen? When did this happen? Do you know when this happened? You know, those kind of questions. Well, of course, I don't know when it happened, but I tried to figure it out. And I think I figured it out. Not that it's super important of when it happened, but I think it goes to the broader issue about what really is going on in her life. And when I made this timeline, which I'm going to share with you, and then I'm going to start to go over videos to back up this timeline, we're going to see a big picture here of how an episode like this came about. How did an episode like this come about? What was going on? And, you know, when someone has like a outburst like this, it doesn't just happen like that, right? There's things that build up to it and circumstances that are going on. And so let's go ahead and get into some of that right now. Wait, before I get into that, let's do one thing real quick, because I wanted to show you guys before I get into the timeline. Let me take a step back here. I want to get into this TMZ interview. There was a bigger interview she did. You might know she talked about Mackenzie Shirilla. I think everyone knows now who Mackenzie Shirilla is. She is over on Netflix. The number one doc over there right now is it's called The Crash, and it's about Mackenzie Shirilla, about her taking her car and driving it over 100 miles an hour and murdering her boyfriend and her boyfriend's friend. So Dominic Russo was the boyfriend and Davion Flanagan is the friend. And I've done a few videos on that also. Well, Gypsy was going to weigh in on that. But before they got to that point in the interview, there was some things I think you guys, I don't know if you guys have all seen this or not, but let's go ahead and take a look at this because it's pretty interesting what Gypsy says about getting married in this interview and about seeing the ocean for the first time, which I know you guys are going to be interested in hearing about. All right. Let me go ahead and bring that up. All right. Here's the TMZ interview. Let's go ahead and get that going.
Welcome, Gypsy Rose.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Woo, Gypsy in LA. How has it been for you so far?
It's been really nice. This is my 4th time to Los Angeles, and I feel like every time I step off the plane in LA, like I feel like that girl,
Yeah.
like it just gives me a confidence boost or something.
It's crazy because I think it was the
Okay, I'm going to be a little petty here. Why is Gypsy wearing like a workout outfit? Is that a workout outfit? I don't know. She knew she had to know she was going to TMZ to be interviewed. I mean, okay, so petty, I know.
first time you came to LA after your release. There was this video of you seeing the beach for the first time, and that was so eye-opening.
Okay, did you hear her? There's one of those myths again, one of those lies that has been perpetuated, right? That Gypsy saw the beach for the first time when she came to LA a couple years ago. You all might remember this one clip I love to play over and over again. Gypsy in the hot pink dress, went off the shoulder, right? And Christy's putting on her sandals, either putting them on or taking them off. And so I guess that's what this is. Charlie Neff. This was Gypsy's go-to person when she was in prison. Even they've cultivated a relationship for quite some time. Charlie Neff here is the TMZ reporter. Okay, so Charlie is echoing this lie. Gypsy knows it's a lie. It wasn't the first time she saw the ocean when she came to Los Angeles. What about her trip to Cape Cod on the boat? We all know that, right? We've all seen that. This is not her first time, but Gypsy's going to go ahead and play along with it, not correct her. Like, actually, that wasn't my first time seeing the ocean. My mother took me to Massachusetts. We went on a trip. Okay.
To see you experience that, how do you feel you've grown since like that first video?
Oh
Seeing
my
the beach?
goodness, I just feel like I've lived a lot of life in the last 2 years, and just kind of seeing me then, everything was so new to me and experiencing things for the first time. So now coming back, I kind of feel like, okay, I kind of know a little bit more about LA and stuff like that. So I'm able to, search for things and I'm like, okay, I want to go eat here now. Like, I feel like a regular.
Regular girl.
Regular.
Do you get spotted and recognized every time you come out?
I do. But thankfully it's always been really nice. It's just mostly people wanting selfies and stuff like that. So I don't mind.
Yeah, good for you. So you were released about what, 3 years ago?
2.5, I think.
2.5 years ago. And since your release, I feel like you've been navigating life pretty well. You're on social media. You're, I guess you would say, an influencer. Of course, that comes with pros and cons. Your life is looked at under a microscope. And there's so many things that you get criticized for that I think are unfair. But how do you handle criticism like that when you are very present on social media?
It's hard. I mean, you have to look at it from a lens of, okay, how is a critic going to look at this? And how do I look at this? And you have to maintain a balance because you don't want to catch yourself off guard by some random comment. So unfortunately, you're always having to kind of critique your own self. Like, how do I look? Does my stomach look big? Does my hair look out of place? You have to pick yourself up.
I want to break here. Notice that instead of critiquing her life, her actions, the collabs that she done, especially that one collab with Natalie Reynolds that went so bad that Charlie Neff had to end up interviewing her over the, right? I killed my mom comment, right? Gypsy thinks about her physical appearance above anything else. She's not critiquing her behavior or action. She goes, I got to see if my stomach looks too big or whatever. It just, it kind of like, well, that's Gypsy. It's not about her actions. It's about how she looks.
part, while also maintaining yourself.
Yeah. And speaking of your appearance, that's kind of one of the criticisms you've been getting recently is about the wigs that you've been experimenting with,
Uh-oh.
which I feel like is so unfair because so many people experiment with wigs and
Mhm.
don't get the criticism like you do. But today,
No way.
Okay, so Charlie Neff doesn't know why the wigs were a big deal. The wigs are a big deal because of the wig she wore leading up to the murder, the different personas that she created, right? That's why when she started wearing wigs again, everybody was like, "Oh, red flag, what's going on with the different wigs?" It wasn't just one wig she got 3 different wigs, right? And so, of course, Charlie's thinking like, "Well, why are people being mean to you about wearing wigs? That's not like a big deal." But Charlie doesn't know. She's not deep into the case. She doesn't understand why to, all of us, it was like, "What? She's wearing wigs again? What the hell's going on?" Right?
No
No
way.
wig. No, this is
Okay.
my natural hair. I've been growing it out for 6 months,
Mhm.
and I think it looks good. It's getting there.
So you were experimenting with the wigs because you were dyeing your hair so much post prison
Mhm.
and it kind of wasn't great,
Yeah,
great shape.
it was really rough because originally I had got highlights and I maintained those highlights, but then it became like I wanted to go blonder. And so I kept going to the salon until I just kind of wanted to do it at home.
Mhm.
And I bleached my hair twice in one day.
Oh no, Gypsy.
It was
As a blonde, I can tell you that's
It
not
was
good.
really, really bad. And then to cover it up, I put brown box dye on it. And after that process was over, my hair was green.
Oh.
And I was like, I can't go back. So I'm going to start fresh. And I don't like short hair. So I bought a wig and I wore that for a few months. And now I can say that I'm getting more comfortable
Yeah.
without them.
I think it's cute, little
No,
pixie cut.
yeah.
So you have a daughter.
Now this has been commented on by a lot of content creators about her cutting her hair, shaving her head, all of that. You guys know it. I don't have to go over it again. That, but she claims that before it was that she fried her hair, and now today in this interview it was that her hair turned green. I don't know if it matters or not, what the excuse is. You guys all have your own opinions, obviously, about why she even in prison talked about, and I've shown those prison emails time and time again also, where she says in a prison email, "I cut my hair when I'm stressed. I take nail clippers and I cut my hair when I'm stressed." So yeah.
Aurora, she's about 1 year old, right?
She is actually about to be 17 months.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
It's so crazy. What has surprised you most about motherhood?
I think all the different emotions that I would go through was very surprising to me because when people told me, I'm sure it's, very difficult for you now raising your own daughter,
Yeah.
not having, had a great childhood. So how do you navigate that?
Of course she has to put Dee Dee down, and she does. Okay.
And I'm like, I'm doing it the best of my ability. I'm being the best mom that I can be. I'm going with my gut, my instincts, and my heart.
Oh, I just love your love story with Ken.
Mhm.
And I think everybody, when you first got out of prison, everybody was so fascinated with your love life
Mhm.
because you were married to Ryan Anderson,
Mhm.
and that didn't work out. And when you guys broke up, you rekindled things with your former fiance, Ken Urker.
Mhm.
You guys had
Well, it's not that they didn't work out. It was she was living with Ryan for like 5 or 6 weeks, and then she went to Kent. I mean, it was not like there was some period of separation and a year went by and then I rekindled things with Ken, right? It was like immediately, she gets out of prison, she's with Ryan for a few weeks, and then it's like, nope. Yeah.
a child together, Aurora, that we just discussed. Do you feel a lot of pressure to tie the knot with Ken? You guys aren't
Uh-oh,
engaged right
here
now,
comes.
but you do have a child. Things are serious.
Mhm.
Do you feel pressure to make things more serious?
Now listen to this, because this is going to go to our timeline. This thing about getting married to Ken is a stressor. And when you see the timeline and the videos, I come with the evidence behind it, you're going to see that this has been one of the big problems.
I feel like I don't feel pressure from him. He doesn't feel pressure from me. So
I think he does feel pressure from her. That's just my opinion. And wait till I get to my timeline. You'll see.
we don't pressure each other, but I feel the world does.
Yeah.
I feel like the world is just asking that question nonstop. And it kind of sucks because, what happens if we are one of those couples that, we don't want to get married right away? We don't want to rush it. Essentially our relationship does.
She's been wanting to get married. We've seen the videos. I have a few that I'm going to play. Right. So, no, but and I'm not saying, hey, nothing wrong with her wanting to get married. I'm not saying, oh, it's weird a woman wants to get married. Right. But she here is saying, I don't want to. And well,
feel like a marriage. We are raising a child together. We live together. There's lots of couples, even in Hollywood, that have been together 30 plus years and they are still not married.
Yeah, Goldie Hawn.
Yes,
couple,
exactly.
famously.
Prime example.
Yeah. Do you ever see yourself in a situation where you have an elopement and you just skip it all and just, go to Vegas and have a quickie wedding?
No, I don't want to have a quickie wedding. I want to have the big wedding. I want to have the poofy dress. I want to have the family there. Because it's like my first marriage. I got married in the visitation room by the bathroom of a prison.
Oh no.
I'm not.
You deserve your fairy
I
tale.
deserve my wedding.
Yeah. So I want to talk to you about a very high profile case that's going on with
So she wants the big wedding. No surprise with any of us, right?
Mackenzie Shirilla.
Here it
So
goes.
she's a young woman. She was sentenced to life in prison with eligibility for parole after 15 years served for a deadly crash that killed both her boyfriend, Dominic Russo, and his friend was also in the car and killed Davion Flanagan. Did you watch the Netflix show, The Crash?
I did. I watched all the documentaries that's currently out. And although I watch these documentaries, I'm not a true crime junkie. Some people might think I am, but I'm not. But it did seem interesting, so I did watch it. And though I can't speak to anything other than I could give my opinion about her sentence, and I can give my opinion about whether or not I think that she will get paroled.
Yeah, so actually, right now, Mackenzie is asking the Ohio Supreme Court to take a look at her case after previous appeals were denied. The Supreme Court hasn't said whether or not they're going to look at them. Do you think there's a world where the Supreme Court will overturn her conviction?
No, I don't. I can say that, after watching the documentary, I don't think the documentary did her any favors.
Yeah.
And just by kind of hearing about her behavior in prison and all this kind of stuff, because she does have, 2 15-year sentences ran together. And after those 15 years, she can be eligible for parole. Now, I can say I don't think she'll get early parole, and this is why. So the parole board takes into consideration behavior in prison, but most importantly, remorse and family. So if the victim's family writes,
Yeah, so I want to comment on this. There are people that are saying, and I don't know, you guys, this has just been brought up in the last 24 hours, that Gypsy, I don't know if this is true or not, but I'm just going to say it. That Gypsy is jealous of Mackenzie Shirilla's, that she is getting so much attention. And so that Gypsy is trying to get back in the limelight, and also why she is answering these questions the way she is answering them. Now, I don't know. Do you think Gypsy wants to be the number one, convicted murderer? That's, infamous. I don't know. You guys let me know.
Against her parole, she will automatically be denied. I've seen it happen time and time again with different women that was in my prison. They prioritize the victim's family above everything.
Yeah. And so kind of to your point, there's been a lot of people that have come out saying that she's not remorseful at all behind bars. She's calling herself allegedly Skrilla the Killer, and just doesn't regret much about what happened. So do you think if and when she does have remorse, she maybe can change the minds of the victims' families?
It's going to take a lot of work on her part.
Yeah.
She's going to have to do a lot of extensive therapy, and she's young.
Yeah.
She's young, and it's not going to sink in until maybe 20 years from now. But what's going to happen is she's going to go in front of the parole board. They're going to keep setting her back in 5-year increments. And I think that needs to happen. The time that she's in prison right now, she needs to grow up and take accountability. And remorse is something that maybe is not coming natural right now, because maybe it's something that she hasn't dealt with internally and emotionally, but it's going to hit her like a train. And when that happens, she needs to take those steps to do what she needs to make amends with the victim's family. And it's on them if they want to forgive her. They don't have.
So a lot of people also want to bring up the point that the Petrie family didn't really stop Gypsy from getting early parole. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know anything about Gypsy's parole hearing. I've never seen any documentation on it at all, but maybe that's a possibility. The only other noteworthy thing with this interview is how Gypsy comments about Mackenzie Shirilla being an influencer. And let's get to that part.
To forgive her by any means. The justice system. I will say that having been in prison for 8.5 years, I've seen so many women just like her. I'm not going to say as a person she's not special. I'm not going to down someone like that. But there's nothing special about what happened to her, because there's so many women that have done the same thing, same crime or other crimes similar, and they have this sort of bad bitch attitude. I don't give a F. And I just seen it so much that I don't have sympathy for women like that.
Yeah. And there's been all these reports that she's getting some of the best makeup in prison, and her family is make of that.
I mean, unfortunately, that's just our justice system. It was daycare for adults. It's on the individual to get what they put into it. if they want to change, if they want to truly better themselves, they'll take the classes that the prison offers. There's all kinds of resources to be a better human being.
Yeah.
But it's on that individual to take it or not.
So she had an alleged ex-girlfriend that came out, claims that they had like a romantic relationship while incarcerated together.
I'm going to
And you
fast
famously
forward
have
it.
said that you've kissed more women. How do you navigate through that?
I personally, I didn't do the girlfriend thing, though the kissing happened, but I get it. She's young, and it would be helpful for her if she could maybe have a roommate that's older that can kind of mentor.
Family of one of her victims, Dom, who was her boyfriend at the
Here it
time.
is.
That family is pushing for a new law. Basically, they want a law to block convicted violent offenders from profiting on social media. They had pointed out that when the accident first happened,
Doesn't she realize she's talking about Gypsy, a violent offender, from profiting? I just, this part kind of blew me away.
she was in the hospital bed posting TikToks, obviously profiting since the crash. What do you think of that law?
I think it's complicated. It's a double-edged sword, but I feel like Mackenzie specifically should not benefit from social media or any other kind of avenue. But at that same token, let's just say I have a friend specifically in prison right now. She was in a domestic violence situation. She killed her husband in what I feel like was self-defense. But she kept it.
So here Gypsy's making the excuse that if you have a good reason for murdering somebody, then you should be able to profit off of social media. That's exactly what she's doing here. So yeah, violent offenders, Dom's law, Dom and Davion's law that I've shared, is something that Dominic Russo's sister Christina has come up with, and they've got like, I don't know. Last time I checked, it was like, I think over 70,000 signatures, if not more, for that. And this would, most of you guys already know, but this would stop violent offenders from profiting, like becoming an influencer, like what Gypsy's doing. And so Gypsy's here going to make the excuse. This is the last part I want you guys to see.
Herself for a year, and so they charged her with murder. I don't feel like the victims of abuse should be kept silent. They should be able to tell their story in a book or a documentary or however they want to.
So she's talking about herself here.
But if there is no mitigating evidence in this specific case, there's no abuse, there's no sympathetic story behind it.
Not like hers, right? That she has a sympathetic story, that she was horrendously medically abused, and that's why she should be able to profit off of her mother's murder.
For that to be okay. So in her case specifically, no, I don't think that she should monetize. No, I don't think she should be an influencer on social media. So again, it is a very complicated double-edged sword.
What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Yeah, I wanted to show you that, especially that Charlie really asked about the influencer thing. And I was like, doesn't she know she's talking to someone that is a convicted violent offender, who that law would limit her? Well, it's a state law, so it would have to come to Gypsy state. But if she lived in that state and it was passed, she could not profit anymore off of the crime. Anyways, let's get to this timeline. Let's switch gears here a little bit, and let's get to, how did Gypsy have that meltdown? And is she having a lot of meltdowns behind the scenes? And is having a meltdown like that, is that a red flag? Is it like something that people should worry about? Or is it nothing? No big deal. Let's take a look and let's see what the experts say about it. Let's see how this all washes out. Okay. First off, this is my timeline, and I started in May of 2025. Okay. Now, a lot of people, when I'm talking specifically about the cutting up, the big incident where Gypsy, films herself having a breakdown, cutting up that blanket. Okay. And so this is what built up to it. This is what I think, if you look at this timeline, you're going to see how things behind the scenes were spiraling out of control. As Gypsy likes to say, spiraling out of control. The first thing that happened in May of 2025 is this worst Mother's Day ever. Worst Mother's Day ever. And how do we know about this? Well, we know about this because of Ryan Anderson. And here is that video clip.
Everybody knows Hey guys, it's me, Ryan. I saw something also from that Clout Leech clip. Gypsy said that she dodged a bullet with me and Ken's 100 times better. Yeah, 100 times better. He's 100 times balder and he's 100 times gayer. But you think that's better? I mean, I guess it's okay. Everybody's gay a little bit. I guess. I mean, you were in prison, but what's his excuse? I mean, you know what I'm saying? But here's the thing. 100 times better. Okay. How many times he threatened to come grab the baby from you? Didn't he do that on your first Mother's Day ever? Didn't he like leave you and say, I'm coming to grab the baby on your very first Mother's Day? And that's better? Damn, your definition of better is messed up, like batshit out. Oh yeah, you're listening to Christy. That's why. Delusion. That's right. Yeah, 100 times better, my ass. I would never have done that on your first Mother's Day. Come to threaten to take your daughter away on your very first Mother's Day. That's better. Everybody knows what's better. But whatever.
Okay. So we know that happened in May of 2025. Okay. That was the first event. Okay. Now, this next video clip is very telling. I just happened upon this video clip. I had forgotten about this video clip, but I think once you guys hear this, you're going to hear some things in this clip that have to do with some of Gypsy's breakdowns, okay, that we can now put together. And this is what I called the greeting card monitoring Ken's phone huge fight video. This is Gypsy herself talking about these things. It was, well, I'm just going to play the video. It's very telling.
Find a greeting card of her telling you.
She's right here, right off the bat. She says, when I find a greeting card of her. Now, what is this greeting card about? There have been some rumors and some gossip that one of these tantrums, either the cutting up of the blanket, and there is this other allegation of a video of Gypsy stabbing the headboard or making an X of their headboard where Ken slept. That video has been, it's an alleged video by several people. One of them is Ken's sister, who says she's seen it. But what this greeting card is that along with that story, people have said that Gypsy was rummaging around in the closet and found a greeting card from Ken's ex, and that this set her off. Then I come upon this video of Gypsy talking about that very thing, finding this greeting card in the closet and how it sets her off, how it set her off. So let me start it again. Now you guys know. Okay.
Card of, and so when I find a greeting card of her telling you y'all schnoogly booglies, and you know, yes, that's their term, schnoogly booglies.
And then you get to process all of that.
And I'm like, I'm having to.
What's the snoogly booglies? That was what was written in the greeting card. That was their little Ken's language with his ex-girlfriend saying, oh, and then I see you guys writing snoogly booglies. Okay. Just want to make everything clear here so you guys understand what's going on, what's being discussed here.
Like, find all this stuff, and then like whenever he was asleep and his phone was right there, I had grabbed his phone and I was looking at something, and the moment I opened it up, it's a picture of him and her.
That's when he was comparing.
That's whenever he was like, why are you upset? And I'm like, because like you still have all these pictures. I didn't want to see her in a bra. I didn't want to see y'all kissing. Like, that hurts. And I'm like, how do you even, like, why do you still have that on your phone? And he's like, well, I was looking at it because people online, the haters, were comparing how I.
Just going to pause it here briefly. Sorry to interrupt. I don't want to interrupt a lot with these videos. I know it's annoying. I want you guys to take note that Gypsy says Ken was asleep and I grabbed his phone. So she is monitoring his phone when he's asleep. Remember that also.
I hold you or like take pictures with you with my arm around your shoulder, and I wanted to see if I did it with her, and I did, and I was like, okay, well now
But you
that
4'11", and she's probably
Now, let me back this up here a minute, because this part of it is just, to me, it's kind of mind blowing what we're getting jealous about, or what we're focusing on here. Something about the way Ken takes pictures with women, how he puts his arm around a certain woman or doesn't. Okay, here we go.
hearing how I hold you or like take pictures with you with my arm around your shoulder, and I wanted to see if I did it with her, and I did, and I was like, okay, well now
but you
that
4'11", and she's probably
like
taller,
5 something,
so,
yeah,
I mean-
probably everybody's taller than me.
So Ken's excuse why he had the pictures on his phone, why when she opened the phone, immediately she sees these pictures of Ken and the ex. Ken's excuse to Gypsy is, well, you know how everyone online was saying it's weird the way I put my arm around you, and that if I put my arm around you and I'm holding you in a way where my hand is on your shoulder, that's more of the friend zone. And I wanted to see, this is what Ken told her, and I wanted to see, well, did I put my arm around my ex-girlfriend that way? That's why the pictures were on my phone, Gypsy. I mean, I can't make it up. This is what they're saying. This is what he told her, or what she's alleging he said to her. I don't know, is Ken there at this time when they're talking? Possibly. I think so, maybe. So Ken came up with this excuse. Look, the reason I got these pictures on my phone, it's not what you think. It's not what you think. I was worried that these haters, she called them haters, these haters were making these accusations about the way I put my arm around you. I can't make this up. I mean, seriously, this is what we're worried about? What? Or is he just making that up? Or is Ken just making that up? So Gypsy thinks having the pictures readily available on his phone, he wasn't reminiscing about the girlfriend. You guys understand what I'm trying to say. All right.
right, but yeah, his arm placement's gonna be
Right, and
different.
people were just like saying, like, if his hand is on her shoulder, you could tell he treats her like a buddy and all this kind of
Jesus
stuff.
Christ.
And so that's what he went to go look at, and that's when we had like a huge argument. And so that whole scene played out like 3 weeks later, and I'm still finding shit from her. And I'm just like, I have nothing from Ryan. I have no pictures of Ryan.
So she admits that caused a huge fight. Her words, huge fight.
On my phone.
But this lasts forever, girl.
Yeah, I know. We have a whole show together. Fuck. But
So
that's the context to why I was so freaking
right.
crazy.
And that's the context why I was so friggin' crazy. Her words. The context of why I was so friggin' crazy. Okay. So now, when did that event happen that she's talking about? I can't be sure, exactly, obviously, but it is an event, and it does mention the greeting card that other people have been in these groomers and gossip about these 2 incidences. One, we've seen the proof. The cutting up of the blanket video is proven. Not only has Ken said it's true, Gypsy, and we're going to get to her excuse about it. And and then there's this headboard incident that is alleged. No one that I know of has seen that video, except for people have said, I've seen it, but they can't show it to other people, or they've only seen a screen recording of it. So we say alleged because we don't know, that for a fact or not. But again, Ken's sister has come forward and says she has seen this. Okay. So now the next event is the Jazz Fest. Remember the Jazz Fest spiraling out of control, right? The spiraling out of control. Who can forget it? So you've got worst Mother's Day ever in the same month as the worst Mother's Day ever. We've got Gypsy spiraling out of control in this Jazz Fest video. Let's go ahead and take just a real quick look at that. We've all seen it, but
So just remember, just as much dirt as you have on me, I have on you, honey. You punch at me, I punch back 10 times harder. Go see a therapist.
Okay, so that's in May also. So you've got Gypsy talking about this really big fight, this greeting card thing in May. You've got worst Mother's Day ever in May. You've got Gypsy acting out, spiraling, her and Ryan beefing or whatever, right? And the drama that surrounded that in May. Okay, so we've got some things going on there. Now that brings us to June. Oh, and the Omegle TV. You guys don't want to forget about the Omegle TV event, right? I think I got a picture of that. I had a video, but we don't need to see a video. But of course, this also happened in May. Her and Ken went on this app that was known for younger people, and that they were engaging in, I don't know, with younger people. They were online in chat rooms or whatever you want to call it in this Omegle TV thing, and people became very upset about that. Also, that event also, they were doing that in May. Okay, so we're building up a timeline here. That we're going to move into June now. What happens in June? Well, of course, in June, what is the big thing that happens in June? Gypsy is off parole. And because she is off parole, what is the first thing she decides to do? Well, we all know what it is. Let me bring up that clip.
Don't give a fuck.
This is pathetic.
Gypsy don't give a fuck. Gypsy don't give a fuck. Now what? Oh, y'all wasted y'all
Fuck
money.
you guys, because I had a great time in New Orleans. Anyway,
Louisiana mobile billboards, they put minors on billboards. Minors.
my minor child.
Minor child.
Minor
On a
child.
billboard. Look at that. Look at Gypsy don't give a fuck.
Do not give a fuck.
Nobody gives a fuck.
Fuck the haters!
How you like that, bitches?
Fuck you!
Fuck you. You put minors on a billboard.
I'll be calling tomorrow. Fuck you guys. I still had a great time in New Orleans. Do not give a fuck about the haters.
Oh, look up.
All right. So we can't forget it. Of course, what went along with that was all the bar hopping, the drinking. The drinking commenced at that point. I'm not saying she wasn't drinking before June. And I feel comfortable talking about the drinking because in a video that's coming up, she's going to talk about the drinking became a problem. So it's not me saying it. It's her saying it. So at this point, the drinking starts. In May, we know there's fights, there's stuff going on, greeting cards and whatever. I don't know what kind of outburst, happened in May. I can tell you this, the alleged headboard thing had to have happened between June and September, I think, but I'll get back to that in a minute. Okay, so we got that in June. What else? Okay, I'm going to go to the headboard now, just because there's a date in June. What happens in June? And these are for the people that are interested in the headboard stuff. Again, it's alleged, but you guys are interested. So thanks to one of my mods, Mersey Me, thank you so much, and for getting me these clips. June 22nd. 2025, Gypsy does a house tour. And during that house tour, we see her bed. And according to, I've just got a real small screenshot here, but that there was nothing, this is the so-called black headboard, and there was nothing wrong with the headboard on June 22nd, 2025. So that would be the start date that if this video does exist, that it would have to happen after June 22nd. So keep that in mind. And between June 22nd and what date? Well, the new bed is from October 2025 when they move, right? So between June 22nd, 2025 and October 2025, if this cutting up of the headboard indeed is a true video, it would have had to have happened between these two dates. Does that make sense? Okay. Because then we've got a new bed, right? All right. Let's get back to the timeline because it gets even more interesting as we go on, because when we get, I skipped July, nothing really happened in July. But when we get to August, a lot of things happen. A lot of things happen. And here is where I think August especially, and September are the 2 months where things really, really start spiraling out of control. Okay. And look, it's not just me saying this, because I'm going to show you clips of Gypsy talking about some things also that, I'm not making this up, and I'm using these videos to show what kind of things were going on behind the scenes. The first one is, of course, August of 2025 is the first one that stands out in my mind. When I, was putting this timeline together, is what I call the "Leave Me the Fuck Alone" video. Of course, I know many of you already know what video this is. I don't have to really talk too much about it, but just because we're going over the timeline, let's take a quick look at it, okay? So we can all refresh our memories. And then remember, this is in August now, in August.
I'm not gonna post on social media. I'm not gonna do any more interviews or TV shows. Y'all got what y'all want. You got what you want, so leave me alone. Y'all want Nick out of prison? Well, then go fight for it. But leave me alone. I've done my time. Like, it's not fair to hound someone that, sure, I probably should have lived a quiet life when I got out. You know what? You're damn right I should have. Absolutely should have. Anybody said you should have gone live yeah, absolutely I should have. And I didn't, and that was my fuck up. Paying the consequences now, right? But I'm making that choice now for my family. It's better late than never.
Okay, so for her to do this, right? For her to do this, of course, we know that wasn't going to be permanent, but there's whatever's going on, there's a crisis. This is towards the end of August. We'll go over some other things in August that really, we need to know about, because if she's having these episodes, these outbursts, especially this one that we really know about, the cutting up of the blanket, it's going to be around this time here, August, September. Okay. And I'll show you also why I believe that. So you've got her doing that. She's very upset. Her hair, notice her hair was cut off now, right? Now the hair's gone again and again. Reminder, prison emails. When I'm stressed, when I'm upset, when things are going wrong, I cut my hair. It's something I do. I cut my hair. Okay. So we notice the hair at that point when she's leaving, leave me the fuck alone. I'm getting off social media. Leave me the fuck alone. It's in August and the hair is short. Okay. What else happened in August? Well, some of you may or may not know, but they go on this Austin trip, right? And I'm going to bring up the video clip of that in a minute. They go on this trip to Austin also. And I recalled, and I couldn't find the video on this, but I remember specifically Gypsy saying that Ken was taking her to Austin because they were talking, and this is around the leave me the fuck alone time, right? That she was thinking of self-harm. And Ken said, let me take you to Austin. Let's get away from here. So that's a pretty big deal if someone's thinking of self-harm, right? And that they go on this trip. Now, what happens on this trip? Well, let's take a look at this clip, because I think it will also shed light on how we get to this crisis point, how Gypsy gets to her crisis points. Okay. Here's the clip from the Austin trip.
Ladies and gentlemen, our night at the bar. Okay, and we're gone. Bye.
Okay, what happened? And there's several. I'm not going to play the several clips of this trip because there are several. What are they doing in all of the clips? They are at a bar drinking. Nothing wrong with drinking. I have an occasional bourbon myself. But what I'm talking about is this started when she got off parole, it seemed like, meaning that she's doing it in public now. There's bar hopping. It seems to be something she wants to do. And they go to Austin and they're drinking. They're in bars. They're in several different bars. I'm not putting it down. I'm just reporting on the timeline of what goes on and what they were doing on this trip that supposedly is for Gypsy's mental health. I don't think drinking in bars is good for people's mental health. Well, occasional drink, like I said. But I think Gypsy was using alcohol, this allegedly, potentially, as a distraction from whatever is going on, right, with her and Ken. And I think all of this everything, these breakdowns that she seems to have in her life, the patterns she has that I can trace all the way back to Nicholas Godejohn. And we've seen those videos. I can bring one up right now of her begging Nick forgiveness. I'm sorry, blah, 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 blah. All the patterns are there, right? The patterns are there. That what really gets her very upset are these relationships. And she either self-sabotages the relationships, creates the drama herself because she likes the drama. She likes the triangulation of Ryan, right? And Ken, and her, that she loves herself a triangle, a love triangle. She did it with Nick too, with Dan Glidewell. It's the same pattern. Here, though, we're seeing it back then in real time, right? Now, once she got out, we're seeing it in real time. Okay. So what else happens? And this is kind of like building up to a crisis point here at this point. Now, after they get back from Austin, seems to calm down somewhat. And of course, we knew she wasn't going to be gone from the internet for very long. And so what does she decide to do? Well, she's going to come back, right? She's going to come back, but this time she's going to come back as Blown Beauty Art, right? Blown Beauty Art. Okay. So let me get that quick clip. And you're going to see now in this clip, notice her hair in this clip. Notice her hair in this clip. Here we go. Oh, maybe this clip is just a steal. Huh, maybe it is. I thought she talked in it. All right, well, the video doesn't seem to be playing right. That's weird. Okay, well, anyways, what you need to know, anyways, is that this is her, and you can see her on the side, the little icon. It's her Blown Beauty Art and her hair. What's going on with the hair? She's wearing a wig now. Now the wigs start. Now the wigs begin. Okay. She cut off all her hair. Crisis happens. Leave me the fuck alone. Drinking, a lot of drinking since she got off parole. And now she launches this Blown Beauty Art thing. And she now had to go. Well, she wanted to go get a wig. She cut all her hair off from that Leave Me the Fuck Alone video when it's super short, right? It's just, she cut it all off then. And that corresponds, I hate to belabor this, but it corresponds with Crisis. The hair always does with her. Okay. Let's get back to the timeline. All right. Now we're into a lot of things happening. And I say September is a really big month. And I'm thinking when we're talking about the blanket video, I'm putting it in sometime in September, and for several different reasons that you'll see. One being that you'll see down there in my list on September 2025, down at the very end, you'll see leaked messages in red. Right above it, brown dress pic. Now, I'm not trying to throw shade at her with this brown dress pic, okay? We all know it, okay? Why I'm using this brown dress pic next to a picture of her from the blanket video is because Gypsy is a little bit heavier than she is now, right? In the Crisis blanket video. If you notice the brown dress picture of Gypsy and her body there, I think is probably pretty similar. And that picture also was taken in September. So these, I don't know exactly when the blanket video, this is why I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to, figure out, well, when did this actually happen and why did it happen is what I'm trying to do here. I think it happened in September, and it's just my guess. It's a guess. Okay. Obviously it could have been October, but I'm thinking August, September, October, a lot of crap went on. And I'm looking at her body and I'm looking at this picture and I'm like thinking, okay, she probably is around the same size at that point, because she does lose even more weight after September in this brown dress, right? Okay. Let me get to some of these other videos here. All right. Now, she reactivates her TikTok account. Remember, she left in August. Leave me the fuck alone. I'm leaving. I'm going to focus on my family. I'm not going to do anything. Blown Beauty Art happens. It's very short-lived. Blown Beauty Art happens and it's gone within a couple weeks. And now we're into September and she reactivates her TikTok account. And what else does she do? Well, just like I showed you, she purchases the wigs. And this is her purchasing the wigs. And here's the comment. GRB reactivated her account before the official deletion, because I guess you only have 30 days, like on TikTok. If you don't reactivate your account, then it's gone permanently. So she reactivates it. And what is her first post? Her first post is promoting these wigs that she's purchased now. So now she's purchased the wigs. Okay. So that is another thing that happens. So we've got that. And getting back to September, we've got Operation Cockroach. What's Operation Cockroach? Well, many of you may remember that. But before I get to Operation Cockroach, let's get to her reactivation and her talking about why she decided to reactivate her TikTok account in September. Seems like this video isn't working either. It's weird. Can you guys hear this video or not? I'm going to have to. It's weird. All right, let me take it down. Let me see if this one will work. That one works. No, well, hold on. Yeah, it's weird. A couple of these videos aren't working. I don't think this one is working. That's okay, because I have a couple others I can go over, obviously, but let me try this one again. Yeah, this one isn't working, so I'm going to go ahead and remove that from the studio. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry. All right. So, also in September, she joins Cameo. You guys may remember that. And also, we'll get to the no ring video. But let me take a pause here before we get to October, because I want to go back to some things that happened yesterday that will tie in nicely with this timeline. Okay. A couple of things happened, and that was her excuse. First, her denying videos, like her ever threatening Ken on a video. And let me bring that up. Which one is that? Yeah, hold on a minute. Let me see where that is. Okay, here it is. I hope this one works.
Because this is family. It's not.
Okay, so here's Gypsy from yesterday. Okay, let me go ahead. Here we go.
Getting to the point that I can't stay silent anymore, and I need the truth to be known. And this is what's going on. And it sucks that it's coming from a family that I've chosen to be in. None of my family ever would do something like this. So
Gypsy right here, guys, is talking about Ken's sister, Autumn Tara, who has spoken out over on her TikTok account about this alleged video, headboard video. Okay, she's come out to say that she has seen it. Her testimony is that she has seen it, or she's seen screenshots of it from her mother, Raina. That Raina saw this video or has this video and showed it to Autumn, Ken's sister. And Gypsy is saying here in this, and I want to let you guys know what Gypsy is talking about right here is before the crazy cut the blanket video comes out. So this is before it comes out. This is like a few hours before that video comes out. So here, Gypsy doesn't think that video is coming out. And she's going to talk about this headboard video. And she's going to say, look, I got to address this. So remember, it's very important you remember when you listen to this, that Gypsy, this is before the cutting of the blanket video ever comes out. So let's listen to what she said about Ken's sister talking about the alleged headboard video. I know it gets a little confusing. There's two videos, or one alleged and one real. And Gypsy is going to now feels like she has to come out and correct the record about these things.
It really hurts. And that's all I have to say about that. So, yeah.
Isn't it funny that Gypsy would say that her family?
That's Renelle Smith's video. Thanks to Renelle, I got this clip from her. I'm going to fast forward as Gypsy continues to talk about this. Hold on.
Never to the point that I'm drunk. That's a lie. This whole video, it's gotten to that point. So she's left me no choice, and it's just ridiculous at this point. So there's no video that I threatened Ken.
Now here she's going to say, there is no video that I threatened Ken, right? Remember, the cutting blanket video hasn't come out yet.
So she's left me no choice, and it's just ridiculous at this point. So there's no video that I threatened Ken. There's no video that, like, I don't drink around my daughter. If I do, it's a small little sip, and it's never.
There was allegations of Gypsy doing a lot of drinking around her daughter, or doing heavy drinking in general.
To the point that I'm drunk. That's a lie. This whole video thing is a fucking lie, and it's disgusting. Okay, so I want to give a little backstory.
Okay.
So about 3 weeks ago, Autumn had messaged Ken asking for money. She frequently asks Ken for money.
Now, Gypsy's going to go on here now and try to spin a story. I don't know if it's true or not. I'm just going to tell you what she's saying. What she says here is that this sister is in need of money, and all she does is hit us up for money. And so the only reason that she talked about this headboard video is because it's just a lie. Because Gypsy's saying, like, I don't make videos like that, when we kind of know she does now, right? I mean, after you see the cutting of the blanket video, you got to kind of pause at least and go, well, if she did that and made that video, then she does make videos of herself having meltdowns, right? Then she does make videos of herself having meltdowns. Again, do we know it's true? No, we don't know. We don't know. But she's talking before anyone has ever seen this blanket video. So she's completely out of pocket, denying the whole thing. Like, I don't drink. I don't do that. I would never. Why would I make a video like that? Right? And then that blanket video comes out. It's kind of like, right? Yeah, it doesn't bode well for her. But as a deflection, or what a lot of people are claiming is a deflection, Gypsy comes out then and is absolutely going to put the focus back on Ken's sister, not herself. And she's going to paint Ken's sister in a certain way. And let's listen to a little bit of it, and then I'll give you my opinion, and I'd love to know your guys' opinion on this.
And it's always, I need to pay this bill. I need to do this. I need gas money. Always asking for money. So she texted him that she was late on her water bill. And so he's like, okay, how much do you need to keep your water on? So she's like, I don't know, like, 100 or so. So he ends up, calling his mom, their mom, Raina, and asking, how much is the bill? Like, how much is the bill? Because he's gonna chip in a little bit. Then he finds out she's like $1,300 past due, hasn't paid her bills in months. And Ken and I are having a conversation, and we're like, oh, like, I just had to pay $1,000 therapy bill plus another $1,000 bill that was, my own medical insurance bills and stuff like that. I was tight for money. And right around this time is the time that I donated to the Spirit Airlines worker. I donated $500.
Okay, so she goes on about her giving this money, this $500, and basically the deflection is, or the excuse is, that, again, like I was saying, the sister needs money and none of this is real. Now, here's my take. I don't know anything about the sister. I don't know what's true and what isn't true, but I know that she could need money and at the same time be telling the truth, or she could not, right? We don't know, right? But this whole thing, I felt it was kind of crappy of Gypsy to, go into, oh, this sister needs money. All she does is hit us up for money. And then she's tone deaf, as Gypsy usually is. I gave $500 to some random stranger, Spirit Airline. And yeah, she was upset about that. Well, I guess as Ken's sister, if she really needed money, yeah, watching you give $500 to a random stranger, I guess, might be upsetting. Okay. Not that Gypsy is required to take care of Ken's sister, or even that Ken is required. I don't know the whole background. I don't know all of it. Right. But for her to add, and then I gave $500 at the same breath, she's saying, and I got to pay this therapist bill for $1,000. Well, why are you giving some random stranger $500 if that month money was tight for you? That doesn't make sense either. Okay. So there is that. All right. I don't think there's much else on this video, on this one little clip. Let's listen to a little bit more.
And I don't know, because a few creators had commented about it and talked about it. Maybe she saw it. And maybe she thought, well, why didn't Gypsy send me that money? Why didn't Ken send me that money? And then 2 weeks later, this happens. And those bills that came in, were rough. It was a rough month. And so I was short on money and I couldn't send her anything. And then all of a sudden this drama starts kicking up. And I didn't look at Nina's video and be like, automatically, it's Ken's sister, because I rolled it up. Nina makes up the craziest shit. Do you remember when she was like, Ken and Gypsy broke up, ha ha ha. And literally we were at our freaking baby shower, filming with Lifetime. We're learning about this fake breakup as we're going for our baby shower. Like, Nina, even in the subreddit group, is a joke, because she just is in it for clicks and views. Her makeup videos don't get shit. She talks about me, thousands of views. So I just shrugged it off. Nina's talking shit, not gonna address it because there's nothing to address. Then Ken's sister comes out of the woodworks making all these claims. And all the while, she's texting me like nothing. Like, girl, we besties, like. And so it's just crazy to me. So I call Raina and I'm like, Raina, your daughter is doing this. I don't know why she's doing this, but can you help me navigate this? So she gets on a call, a three-way call. So it's me, Autumn, and Raina. And Autumn just, says, yeah, I want in on that cloud. I'm going to be honest. I have a lot of kids and I struggle and I need some way to get in on that bag. And I told her, I said,
so Gypsy's claiming that she gets on this three-way call, and I don't know what to believe, but I know this. In the beginning of this clip, Gypsy's saying there would not be any video even remotely like that, when there was a video remotely like that, right? That just came out like hours after she said this. And it did shock me. It did shock me because she was so hardcore. There's no way there's a video like that one. What one is she referring to? This alleged headboard video, right? This setting up a camera to have a meltdown and stab something, right? Well, yeah, cutting up something, it's still violent. And I'm going to get to the psychology behind that in a minute also, which is extremely interesting. But that's about it for that little thing. So then after that, the blanket video comes out and Gypsy's like, whoa, right? Wait a minute. Uh-oh, this isn't good. This isn't good for me when I'm talking all this about Ken's sister and trying to put her down. I just thought it was really crappy of the way she talked about his sister. She didn't have to talk about her finances. I understand she used that to say she's only trying to get money. That's why she's going along with this headboard stabbing narrative, but she didn't really have to say anything. She really didn't. She could have just been quiet, right? I didn't. If that girl's down on her luck, to me, I don't know if she is or not, but I just thought it was a shitty thing to do. All right. So after that, I think Gypsy does come back and now she's going to give an excuse. Here is the clip. Now Gypsy knows the blanket video has come out that she said there's going to be no video like that anywhere on the internet. Now the video comes out and now Gypsy has to come with a reply. She has to reply. And here's that video clip.
that blanket I made for Ken back in 2018, and it was our first anniversary present. That blanket was pretty much the symbol of our relationship, and There was some personal things that got brought up about exes in the past. And so I felt like if this was the symbol of our relationship, he upset me pretty bad. And so I brought the blanket into our relationship and I was like, you know what? Fuck you. Fuck this blanket. And I took a pair of scissors and I cut it up. That was a one-time thing.
And that happens in relationships.
Okay, let's go over it again, just one more time.
That blanket was pretty much the symbol of our relationship. And
You know, she gave Brian a blanket too, and there's there's a lot of people that have said, "What's with Gypsy and these blankets she's giving these men?" You know, what is the blanket giver? I don't know. I have no idea. It's weird. It is kind of weird. I don't think I've ever given a man a blanket, but okay. But it's the symbol of our. I brought the blanket, and this part kind of did make me pause. No, all joking aside, this part did. I brought the blanket into the relationship. I can take the blanket out, something like that. Let me hear it once again, and then I'll tell you what I thought.
there was some personal things that got brought up about exes in the past. And so I felt like if this was the symbol of our relationship, he upset me pretty bad. And so I brought the blanket into our relationship and I was like, you know what? Fuck you. Fuck this blanket. And I took a pair of scissors and I cut it up.
It was beyond a fuck you, fuck this relationship. It was a meltdown. Now, playing devil's advocate, some people have said, was she acting? I don't think so. I mean, no. I mean, I could be wrong. What would be the purpose of making that? So there are some, not many, but some people. Okay, I'm just giving you all the opinions here that I've seen. There are some people who are saying that, oh, well, she did it because she wants to get the attention back on herself. I don't know. That's not good attention to get, number one. But number two, she had just vehemently denied any video like that coming out, right? There's no video like that of me threatening Ken or being like crazy, cutting things up or stabbing things. She knew that kind of video is that kind of video, right? Of me having a total meltdown like that. So I don't think it was a staged video, no, but it was staged in that she put the camera up before she had the meltdown, right? Like she's in this whirlwind, angry, and she's like, I'm going to show him, and puts the camera up and then starts going off, right? I brought that blanket into the relationship and I can take it out. I don't know. It reminds me of kids. It scares me a little bit. We know when certain people get divorced or in custody issues, people that aren't good people, that aren't mature people, use the kids as pawns, use the kids in a way. And it's not good. So that kind of talk, no, she was talking about a blanket. She wasn't talking about a kid, obviously. But when I heard the way she worded it, it reminds me of someone like, I brought that kid into the world. I can take that kid out. She didn't say that. I'm not alleging she said that at all. It's just that saying reminded that to me. I'm not saying that about her. Just want to be totally clear here. Okay. Okay. Let's see what else she says.
It was a one-time thing.
And that happens in relationships.
Now, I want you guys to notice, we'll just spend another minute on this. I don't want to belabor this point either, that the cult following that follows her over there on TikTok, of course, we're going to minimize this video and back her play, which I found nuts.
I've thrown booze bottles at my boyfriend. I've done a lot of shit. And hey, it happens.
And then after we made up and I wanted to sew it back together. So yeah, I'm not going to say that it was, great.
The difference between other people having fights. Look, I'm sure, I don't know. We're all different people. Some of us are louder than others. Some of us are, or can get angry like that or whatever. Okay. But once it starts to like physically, and I'm going to show you some stats on this. Once it starts to get into the realm of destroying property, that is kind of a big deal. Okay. So yeah. even throwing things is not as much of a big deal as just the destruction, the mental process of destruction of property, cutting up somebody's things like that is actually a deal. It's actually a thing. And I want to show you guys something about that. I won't play any more of the cult because it'll just, well, let's play a little bit more of how they backed her play.
But there's a big difference between stabbing a damn headboard and cutting up a blanket. I made the blanket.
Okay, now here, no, I don't think so. I think they're both violent, but violent actions using sharp objects, right? Whatever is near, okay, I guess. She's saying there's a big difference between cutting up a blanket and stabbing a headboard. Well, yeah, I guess there is if you're not upset. Like if I'm just sitting here and I take a blanket and I start cutting it. The action of stabbing a headboard makes you think, oh, you're being violent, right? The way she was cutting up that blanket, her demeanor, everything about her was a violent action. Okay? It was a violent action. She's cutting, right? So it is kind of the same psychologically is what I'm talking about here. Okay. So let's go ahead. And I don't want to hear any more of the cult talk about how they, well, let me just one more minute. I think somebody says something really dumb.
Listen, there's women that do worse. They go out and spray paint their man's cars and trucks, flatten their tires.
And the whataboutism. Well, there's women that do a lot worse. They behead their husbands in bed. They douse the bed with gasoline and they light it on fire. So Gypsy, no, you haven't done anything that bad, have you? Well, yeah, she murdered her mom, but I don't know, So what about the other women that do really, really horrible, horrendous things? You're not like that.
I mean, you could have done a hell of a lot worse than cut up a blanket.
Exactly.
And yes, and absolutely, someone said domestic abuse in the chat. Absolutely, what she did is considered domestic abuse. I researched it. I looked at it. I'm just not talking off the top of my head. Okay. I want to make sure when I say something that it's correct. It was classified as domestic abuse doing that. So it is.
That's all it was.
Like you're the only one in the world that has that they have disagreements. You're not.
I'm not.
Well,
there's some things that make Gypsy really unique. And the first thing off the top of the bat, constantly when you think of Gypsy, is she murdered her mother. She conspired to murder her mother. She acted it out. She was there for it. She stole the knife. She made a video stabbing. I mean, that's the first thing you got to know about her. And then in that context, you're watching that blanket video and you're going, oh, wow, that's not good. Right? Okay. I just don't understand the friends. I guess they just want to be friends no matter what. And they'll be on her side no matter what. And I don't understand it because to me, that video was pretty damn alarming. I'm not going to lie about that. It was damn alarming to me. Okay. Let me get to some of these things about women that do these things. And I've got some other, we're going to finish the timeline, I promise, because it gets very interesting in October. But since we're on this domestic abuse part of it, let me go ahead. Do you guys remember a woman named Betty Broderick? Betty Broderick, there was a couple of series made about her. The one was the Dirty John Betty series, on Netflix. I don't know if any of you guys saw that. It's a good series. Betty Broderick is a woman who was found guilty of murdering her ex-husband and his new wife. Story is he became a doctor and a lawyer, and she was the woman who worked nonstop, had 4 kids, put him through law school and medical school. And then when he made it big in his career and, he wanted a younger woman. And Betty wasn't going to have it. Nope, Betty wasn't going to have it. And she became a domestic violence abuser. A lot of people had sympathy for her because of the situation. But in the same token, The things that she did, not cool. And of course, murdering him and murdering his new wife, not cool at all. Now, why am I talking about Betty Broderick? Betty Broderick cut up her husband's clothes. Was one of the red flags going up to the event. So when I saw Gypsy cutting that up, I thought, because I read the book about Betty Broderick, and I remember that in the series they have her taking the clothes and dousing them with gasoline, but the truth is she cut them up. And so yeah, it is a deal. It can be a warning thing, somebody doing something like that. And I'm not trying to over dramatize the video either. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say, oh my gosh, she's going to start murdering people. No, I'm not. Of course, I'm not saying that. I'm saying, though, the way Gypsy deals with her anger, problematic. There's some problems, right? And I'm sure all of us, I don't know, we're all angry in a different way. What I was going to say is, I'm sure you've been angry and gotten really mad. And I'm sure I've never cut up anything, but yeah, I've thrown things before. I can say I've thrown things, not at someone, but I've thrown things, a long time ago. Not anything recent, but yeah, I was in my 20s. But no, I've never thought of to set up something and take sharp objects and start cutting things up. And so I wanted to bring up Betty Broderick, as when I read the book, the psychologist is talking about how there were these red flags with her. And that was one of them, that she did that she was, her thoughts of violence towards him were there. I'm not saying that's what Gypsy is either. Don't get me wrong. I'm just using it as an example of people should not be minimizing these things either. Okay. When it comes to Gypsy, you just shouldn't minimize it. All right. How are you guys doing? How long am I taking? Oh, well, we've been doing this for a while. All right. Let me go to one more thing with the timeline, and I want to get to some of your guys' comments too. And I want to finish the timeline, and I want to see your comments. So, I've got to load more videos in here. Before I go and load up the studio with the next videos for the October that I think you guys are going to find really interesting, let's get to these leaked messages. You see, I've got there in red. I put them there because I don't know, number one, if these leaked messages are true. Leaked text messages, I'm going to show you. I don't know if they're true. I don't know where they come from. I do know Ashley Baby on TikTok made a video about them. I didn't have time to research where she got them, or if she just got them from, somebody else making a video about them. So I'm not saying they came from her, but that's where I saw them at. And let's take a look at them because it has to do with this headboard. Okay. So supposedly, because I can't trace where these text messages come from, and conspiracy, I can say conspiracy right there. Obviously, I think I screenshot this either from conspiracy or Ashley Baby. I'll give them credit after I do this live stream. But these text messages were leaked, supposedly Ken and Gypsy. Let me go ahead and read the top portion. Supposedly from Ken. I don't know if this is true. Supposedly, allegedly, Ken says, I'm going for sole custody. I took pictures of you stabbing the headboard and smashing pictures all over the ground. You are not allowed around Aurora anymore unsupervised. You are too predictable and dangerous. I can't have that around my child or Parker. This is officially done. And then, allegedly, Gypsy says, I'm so sorry I was drunk. Please don't take Aurora. I told you I needed to punch a pillow and get out of these hurt feelings. I'm sorry for trashing the headboard and smashing the frame. That was unnecessary. I would never in a million years hurt anyone. I came home and was very hurt, so I threw some stuff around and yes, took some of that anger and pain out on an object. It doesn't make it right, but I did. And then I left to spend the night here in cutoff to cool down. Kenan, I love you with all my heart. That is why it hurts so much. We built our family together, a life together, and I don't know why it's not enough for you. I have not always been the best girlfriend, but I truly want to be better. I need fresh start without memories of the past. I thought a new house. Now this might be a clue. I thought a new house, new furniture, new beginning. Of course, this would be talking in September if this is a true text. And again, until I know where it came from, until someone can confirm all of that stuff to me, I don't know if it is or not. But if it is, then if we're talking about a timeline, when she says, I thought a new house, new furniture, new beginning, that would be at the end of September 2025. This same time frame I'm covering in my timeline of how all of these, what I'm alleging, these big crisis point happened between them. And before we go off of this screenshot and get back to the timeline, here is Gypsy on the right-hand side. This is from yesterday, having to do with when the blanket video came out. And here is how here's what she posted. To those asking, yes, I am okay. The blanket video was from last year. Here's her excuses. Navigating a complex, dynamic relationship. What does that mean? Do you all have complex, dynamic relationships? I guess. And emotions were difficult. Many disagreements are the result of poor communication and hurt feelings surrounding ex-partners. We have been working hard on betterment of our communication and understanding. We are in a much better place currently. Sorry, you guys' comments. Gonna have to just take them off for a second. A little wisdom learned the hard way. Let the past be the past and do not bring past relationships into current relationships. Well, I can confirm, obviously, Gypsy wrote this yesterday. A little wisdom learned the hard way. Let the past be the past and do not bring past relationships into current relationships. So again, of course, she's talking about the blanket video where she talks about his blonde bimbo. And was that about the greeting card she found? Was that where she talks about the greeting card, where she talks, I don't know. That's another incident, I think, because I think whatever the greeting card is, that had to happen prior to May. Okay. Does that make sense? Because that video of her talking about it is from May when they were watching the series. I know this gets very confusing. I think there's been quite a few blow-ups, quite a few. Okay. Allegedly, of course, but I'm pretty sure there's been more than the blanket one. And all right, let me get to some of your comments. Then we'll go back and finish up the timeline because it gets very interesting. You're going to see a total switch when we get from the end of September and into October. Something switches here. Something happens here. And I know you guys are going to be interested to see that. But let me get back to the comments. All right. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging in there with me. Just Ashley, 84 member for 6 months. We love and support you, Becca. I think I already did that one, but I'm happy to do it again. Thank you, Just Ashley, 84. Let me make sure which ones. Glad to see you back. Main Chick Carrie. Yeah, I think I did those. Hold on. Caminator was the last one. That's right. Okay. Sorry, guys. We got Purple Peril 420 member for 7 months. Thank you for being here. Reddit has been so fun this week. Oh, I bet, Purple Peril. I bet. Next up, we've got Abs Marlowe, $2. Big hubs to you and Keekins. Oh, I see her tail. Maybe she'll be coming up in a minute. Thank you for that. Next up, we got Karma, member for 13 months. Glad to see you. Missed you. Thank you so much, Karma J. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. We got Alyssa Vegan 81 $4.99. Hi Becca, the video was crazy. She is and always has been obsessed with social media. She needs to put her damn phone down and look after her daughter. I think we all feel that she doesn't spend, or that we can see that she is very preoccupied with social media and not sure with the daughter, right? Not a lot of with the daughter. Okay. Next up, Style 5 became a member. Styles 5484. Well, welcome. Thank you for being here. Next up, one of our favorite, Runax. Runax, love you. Thank you for being here. Also became a member. It's very kind of you, Runax. Turd Ferguson. Oh, Sugar Woo, you're back. Sugar Woo's back. That's right. That's right. So glad that you're here, Turd Ferguson. All right. Next up, Shaylin 2526, a member for $3. She's cringy as fuck. She certainly is. Acorn, staging, it is more crazy than spontaneity. Right, exactly. So I mean, I think when you're really, really upset, right? When you're really getting like your adrenaline is flowing up to that point, you're not thinking about filming it. You're just acting out. It's like really, really gypsy-esque. Can I say gypsy-esque to set up a tripod or whatever it was? Yeah, very, very weird. Okay. Next up, we got Ari Sad 337 $5. Has anyone checked on the blonde bimbo? I feel like she's in danger. Oh, you know what? Thank you for bringing that up, Ari. And I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Erie or Ari Sad 337. If I have time, I'll get to it. But you guys know that Gypsy has a total pattern of when she's with a guy, finding out what girls they were with and having to go make contact with those women. She did it with Nick when Nick told her, do not go and contact my ex-girlfriend, Jackie. And Gypsy had to do it. And Jackie went to Nick and was like, your girlfriend's really weird. I mean, there's that whole thing. There's a video of Gypsy crying. I'm sorry I contacted Jackie. I mean, it's what she does. With this blonde, the so-called blonde bimbo, Ken's ex, I know she approached several content creators like over a year ago. I know one of them was Conspiracy to say, hey, this rumor about Ken being gay, I need your help because I want you to show here's his girlfriend. So like basically, Gypsy wanted Conspiracy and other content creators, not just her, to dox the girlfriend. And was like going, and asking them to do this. So, someone needs to go check on her. One of our favorites, B. McKenna, 2024, who's been a member for 6 months. I'm so glad to see you, B. McKenna. Good to see your face, Becca. Thank you. Happy Sunday. It's been crazy in the Gypsy Twilight Zone. It has. And the last 48 hours has been really, really crazy. I'm so glad to see you here, B. McKenna. Next up, we've got Sleepy Time Crime Stories. Tell everyone what you really think about them. Tell us how gross we all are, Sugar Woo. Oh, well, Sleepy Time Crime Stories. Thank you for the $5. I'm so happy that I could intrigue you. Oh, brother, right? All right. You're at 11, my future member for 7 months. You're amazing, Becca. High IQ people love you. I understand that too. And I get a kick out of most of this. Trust me, a big kick. I mean, I'm 61 years old. I don't really care. You know what I mean? Thanks for being here at 11, my future. I'm so glad you're here too. All right, let's go ahead and take one more from Harley Quinn PDX, member for 13 months. Love you, Becca. I love and respect you. Harley Quinn PDX, you're so sweet. I love you too. You're always in my chat. You're always so kind. And thank you for being a member for 13 months. All right. Why don't we go ahead and end with that one because I have so many more I have to do. We've only got a couple more left here that I see. And I'll get to those in a minute. All right. So guys, here is where I'm going to bring up the timeline and tell you what we're going to do next. So we did the leaked messages. Now we're going to see where happens in October. They move, and a lot of things happen in October. But before I get to that, oh, thank you, Starlight. Before I get to that, I want to I need to take a short break because I've got to bring up all these videos into the studio, okay? And I want you to see these videos because they're super interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and go away. I'm going to disappear for a minute. You know how I do this. Let me get ready to do it. It'll probably take me 1 to 2 minutes at the most. I'm going to re-upload these videos into my studio. I got to take these other ones out, and that does take a minute. Let me get to the place where I can do that. So you're going to have to talk amongst yourselves or chat amongst yourselves for a minute, and I'll be right back. What music am I going to play? Okay, let's play this music. Okay.
In October of last
Welcome to my
on all the
my entire on alcohol.
All right, I'm back. Sorry, that took longer than I thought. Okay, but it's going to be worth it. And I might have to take one tiny little break. I didn't get to get them all up, but there's a couple more I want to bring up that are really good. Okay, so I'm going to take your comments off for a minute so I can read my own timeline here. Okay. All right. So we go from this September, the Operation Cockroach. Okay, let's get to the swears off alcohol. The swears off alcohol, right? Where is that at? Here we go. So I'm going to take this down. So remember, I told you that this drinking becomes a problem. This drinking and carousing and whatever's going on becomes a problem for her. And remember, I showed you where they, in August, end of August, she thinks of self-harm. Ken takes her to Austin, supposedly because she's thinking of self-harm, and they're out drinking the whole time they're gone, right? So now we come into September, and what happens at the end of September, this also happens, this drinking, this swearing off drinking.
I was like on alcohol since I never drank before, and now kind of seeing my experience with it, I tend to be unhinged, just stupid, and my worst moments I think I have been off of parole have been because I've been drunk. And so I am just choosing, both Ken and I are choosing to completely like get rid of any alcohol and honestly just live a sober life, like never drink again.
I respect that.
So her and Ken, I mean, look, for someone to swear off alcohol and to make a public announcement about it, it's become a problem, right? Look, I don't like how I'm when I drink. It's become a problem. Ken and I. So there was discussions about the alcohol consumption that was going on, I think, allegedly. All right. I for her to say this, let's go back just one more time.
Be unhinged, just do, since I never drank before. And now kind of seeing my experience with it, I tend to be unhinged, just stupid. And, you know, my worst moments, I think, that I have been off of parole have been because I've been drunk. And so I am just choosing, both Ken and I are choosing to completely like get rid of any alcohol and honestly just live a sober life, like never drink again.
I respect that. You never like that around me if you were drinking. But you know what?
All right. So there's that. And so that is quite telling. Someone to make a public announcement like that, to say, I become unhinged. My worst moments since I've been off parole are because I've been on alcohol. Alcohol is fueling. And we hear, and why this statement is important is because the rumors have been that alcohol has fueled all these events, these meltdowns that she has behind the scenes, the cutting of the blanket. All of these things were fueled by alcohol consumption. That's the rumor. I don't know that for a fact. I wasn't there. All right. I'm just saying what the rumors are. And then I'm showing you video evidence of her talking about alcohol. Right. And you can decide for yourself what it means. Does it mean anything? Does it mean nothing? Does she just one day wake up and go, you know what? I'm not going to drink anymore. If it's not a problem, I wouldn't think. Right. Okay. So what else happens then? And this is kind of like going to build up to something here. All right. Now, we know when they're moving that Gypsy becomes very preoccupied. So they're moving from this one location. And when I say moving, that was in Metairie. I think it's Metairie. I think that's right. Where the cut up blanket video is done. So people have identified that video and saying, see these posts and see this here. That's this location. So now they're moving at the end of September from this place, right? And where she's swearing off alcohol. At the same time, they're moving from this place where this video that we can confirm is real because she's confirmed it, right? Is real, happened. So it happened before September. We know that. And I've told you, beginning in May, all of these events, all of these things that happened, I think led to that video and probably other big meltdowns behind the scenes. Okay. So now we move. They move. She swears off alcohol, right? So alcohol became such a problem, she had to swear it off. Okay. But we've seen her drinking. She's in LA. And just as a side note, when she went out to that high-end Mexican restaurant, I think it was a cocktail, I'm pretty sure. Maybe it was a virgin cocktail. So again, I don't want to say if it's not fact, right? But it seems like she has, when they went to Alaska, I think they were imbibing, they were partaking. So maybe the swearing off alcohol, momentary because of these meltdowns, and then we start again. And these are patterns people have. People a lot of times do that, right? I'm not going to drink again. I'm not going to drink again. And then 3 months later, they're drinking again, right? Or 2 weeks later, they're drinking again, you know? Okay. Now, in October of 2025, what happens when they go to move? This first video you got to see while they're moving. And I think this video says a lot about, since we know Gypsy's toxically jealous, and that video definitely, cutting up the blanket, was domestic violence. There's no other way to put it. Okay. All right. So this video happens while they're moving.
As the last scene.
Wait, not this video. Sorry. That's not the right one. Is it this one? Oh, okay. Hold on. Hold on. Let me go back to the timeline. I don't think I have the video. Okay, the video I'm thinking about, you guys have seen it, where they're packing. I'll just describe it to you. They're packing and someone says, "Oh, are you going to get married or something?" And she says, "You need to talk to Ken about that, about the ring," right? So the ring is very much on her mind, okay? And now this video that I'm going to show you now is also her talking about the ring and things that happened around that time. So here we go.
Was the cliffhanger, and the producers knew that he wanted to go ring shopping.
Now, in this part, she's talking about the end of their series, about Ken going ring shopping, but it is telling about what upsets her the most, I think, is that she's not engaged and she's ferociously, diabolically, like out of her mind, jealous about things, about other women and in the lives of her men.
Oh, this is so hard to talk about. When we were filming our last day, where I was doing my interview, where I clearly had shorter hair, the producers were asking me a series of questions about the last time I communicated with Ryan, and they ask things in a certain way.
What this is going to go to, and I won't interrupt anymore after this, is this story to me is also going to paint a picture of how they also got into another huge fight. Okay. So there's been more than 1 or 2 or 3 huge fights behind the scene. Okay.
Where if they don't get the answer they want, they keep asking it in a different way. Okay. So the questions were like, do you feel like you need closure with Ryan? Do you miss Ryan? Do you want him as a friend? Is there something that is still, lingering in the air that you wish you could have said, and all this kind of stuff? So I was answering the questions, and Ken was in the living room, and this is at the old place. Ken was in the living room. I was with the producer in the bedroom, and so it was hushed tones, so nothing could be heard from the living room. But Ken had overheard some talk in the bedroom because the audio guy had left his audio equipment unattended, and he overheard through the headphones what we were talking about. And so the conversation was basically me explaining everything that I said in the apology video that y'all probably remember. So basically I was explaining to the producer that yes, I had been in communication with him. I did send pictures of Aurora to him. Why did I send pictures of Aurora to him? It was not to rub it in. It was to get him to see that she's an innocent child in all of this. She's not an it. This is who we are putting in the mix of a situation. So can you please take the paternity test so we can get you off the birth certificate, put Ken on the birth certificate, change her name, and then we could all just move forward with a little bit more ease. And so I was explaining all of this, and Ken overheard, and I had not told Ken, that I had had a full conversation with Ryan about all this kind of stuff, or that I had sent pictures of Aurora to Ryan. So Ken overheard this, and when we were done with the interview, I come out, and I can see that he's visibly upset. And so I'm like, what's wrong? And he didn't tell me until after they all left. Okay. So we had this big argument.
Big argument, right? I'm not saying it goes crazy. I'm saying there are, and look, in all relationships, of course, there are issues and arguments ensue. But with her, it seems it's always around a triangulation, right? Either Ken's ex or her ex. It's always something to do with these things, these issues. It's the issues she creates. She created this issue, not Ken. She creates it, right? And I think she likes the drama. I think she's addicted to getting men jealous. And then when she gets jealous, she goes wacko, right? But she wants to know they want her. She needs to have that kind of an affirmation all the time. And if she doesn't get it, then she'll create it, right? Okay.
About, you know, this communication with Ryan does not need to be had any further once the paternity test is solved and the birth certificate is fixed and all this kind of stuff. So I said, I understand. I level with you. Like, I don't need to be in communication with my ex anymore. And I understand that. So 3 days later, okay, we're already having, you know, that issue, that conversation. So we were kind of like on rocky grounds with trust. So 3 days later, they filmed that scene. And I told them, I said, I understand where you're coming from. I understand.
So he didn't want to do the scene of him going into the jewelry store to pretend to buy a ring, is what she's saying. That there was trust issues and he was like, I don't want to do this. Like he wasn't into it. Like he didn't want to get engaged. And so far as I know, he never has proposed to her. And I think this is a very sore subject for her. And so again, there is another instance of the fighting behind the scenes or alleged fighting behind the scenes. Okay. I want to bring up one other video that has to do with, since we're into this October. Okay. We're into the October thing. All right. What else happens in October besides swearing off drinking? Well, guess what? Gypsy's on antidepressants now. That's right. She's having to take antidepressants.
Girlies. So I have been on Wellbutrin for the last month, and so far it's been going really good. Haven't had any negative side effects or anything like that. But like when I first started taking it,
So you get the timeline here, right? All of this starting in May, all of the mayhem, right? You're spiraling out of control, Ryan, the Jazz Fest stuff, the Omegle TV going into getting off parole, the bar hopping, the drinking, getting into August. Leave me the fuck alone. I'm off the internet. Leave me alone. To coming back and 2 weeks of blown beauty art that doesn't last at all. Going into September where they're having to move. And well, besides Austin, where she says she's going to self-harm at the end of August, right? And then getting into September where we're swearing off drinking, and all of this culminates in swearing off the drinking. And now she's on medication for depression.
I felt like a huge burst of energy. I would get up at like 6 a.m., clean the house, had a lot of energy throughout the day. And now that I have been on it for, the month, it's in my system now. And now I've kind of seen a decline in that like energy. So, but overall, like it's been a great mood stabilizer.
She needs her moods stabilized. Now, I'm not saying that everyone that takes Wellbutrin or, you know what, some of those medications do wonders for people that are seriously clinically depressed, and they find the right antidepressant and it changes their life. Okay. In her circumstance, I think part of her bargaining possibly with Ken, with all of her outbursts and cutting up of blankets and potentially, I don't know about the headboard. Did that happen or didn't happen? Okay. You guys make up your own mind. Was like, I'm I swear to you, I'm stopping drinking. I'm not doing that anymore. And I'm going to the doctor. There's something wrong with my moods. My moods need to be stabilized. It's not me. I'm just not well. Um, that's what I'm alleging here. That looks like the picture. If you look at this timeline of events and the videos that I've shown you. Okay.
Is a stimulant, which is different than other antidepressants. It works on your dopamine receptors. So overall, it has been a positive experience.
Lulu Busby, electric shock works well for some too. It does. It does. I don't know. You're not saying that as a joke. I mean, it could be or not, but electric shock. Yeah, actually, electric shock came back in the late 90s when I was working in the psych ward. ECT actually worked for a lot of people. But when I first saw it, Lulu, I thought you were like you were wanting to give Gypsy a shock, but no, it actually is quite effective. I'll tell you a really quick story, really quick, because it was one of the weirdest stories of when I was working in the psych ward. Okay. This woman, and sweetest woman, impeccably dressed, came in on a 5150. That means that the cops had brought her in. They're put her on a psychiatric hold, right? And she looked like a school teacher, like perfectly coiffed hair, perfectly like super nice suit dress. And I'm looking at them like, what is this woman on a 5150 for? And they're like, yeah, go read that. The deputies that brought her in, go read that, So I read it, and yeah, I'm going to tell you, trigger warning if you guys get weirded out about dead bodies or whatever, stuff like that. Okay. Trigger warning, serious trigger warning. I mean it. Trigger warning. Okay. This woman, probably in her 50s, the neighbors called the police. They were living in single family homes, so not like an apartment, but homes that kind of like share a fence and stuff like that. And the neighbors called the police because they smelt something very, very foul coming from her house. And so the police come out and they're like, whew, like, yeah, like outside the house, something really bad was smelled. Okay. There was like an odor, I guess. And it was starting to be summertime where, okay, summertime, just think heat, heat wave, Los Angeles. Okay. And so they go into the house and they're like, hello, ma'am, who are you the only one that lives here, or what's going on here, or whatever? She goes, no, I live here with my dad and he's just really sick. And they're like, okay, where's your dad? Where is he? Where is he? And yeah, you can guess that he was deceased in the bed. Not only was he deceased for a while, to the point where she thought she had lost it. And it was very sad. I'm going to tell you, this is a sweet woman. She had just mentally lost it when her dad died at the house, and only her and her dad were living there. And so the smell, of course, you can figure out what the smell was, and he had been dead for quite a while, like maybe a couple weeks. Okay. And so when I go to assess her, I'm like, oh God, what do I say? I have to assess her, take, the assessment. And she goes on to tell me all about her dad and how she has to get back to her dad. He's very ill. He's going to be needing his dinner and blah, 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 blah. And I felt so sorry for her, but the story, the story has to do with ECT. And the only thing they tried of course, she had this delusion, right? But they think the delusion came about due to extreme depression and not being able to cope, obviously. And so they thought ECT, and actually ECT worked for this woman. So I'm not saying it works all the time, but in that one case, it did bring her around. And she was in the psych ward for 6 months to a year at least, before she was go to a step down residence, what we call a step down residence. And I'll never forget her. But anyways, yeah. Sorry to go on that tangent about ECT, but that was one of the weirdest stories I had as a psych nurse. All right, let me get back to the timeline here because we want to get to some other things. Also in October, so we've got Gypsy on antidepressants now. We've got her swearing off alcohol. She's talking about in that one clip I showed you where she shared that story about this fight that they had around Ken not wanting to get engaged, not to want he did not want to film that part of the Lifetime series because the trust was gone, because Gypsy was sending, what was she doing? Sending pictures and still talking to Ryan is what made Ken upset. And she said that broke the trust with them at that time. Okay. What else is she doing? Well, she leaks articles or to people. And what is she leaking? Well, she leaks Gypsy Rose Blanchard shares rare photo of her little family and a glimpse into her mom mornings. But the big one, the exclusive, you see the red exclusive there, the exclusive one she gave to people. And this was within a couple days of each other, these two articles. Gypsy Rose Blanchard reveals her future plans to marry boyfriend Ken Urker. Exclusive. When is this? September. This one was September 30th. So right when they're moving, that same time frame, when she does that video, oh, you got to ask Ken about the ring. I don't have a ring yet. She leaks this story to People magazine. Why? Because she wants him to propose. Okay. All right. I mean, what else can it be? Right. So I think that, I don't think that happens. That did happen. Okay. She did do that at the same time as the antidepressants, the swearing off alcohol and all of that. And they're moving. What else happens? Well, there's a couple videos having to do with Ryan that come into play here in October. So in October, Ryan, this happens with Ryan. And let me bring up this video that Ryan has something to do with some of this here.
Ryan did make me.
This is from Renelle Smith, this clip of Ryan. So thank you to Renelle. I love Renelle. I'll have her video. I will have her link in my description box after the live.
Check this out.
I can tell y'all what she told me when last time we talked on the phone. And that's what I fucking should do, is sit here and talk about what she talked to me about last time she talked to me. Maybe I should. Maybe it's time for me to betray you for once. What you think, Gypsy? What you think? You think I should? Well, let's just say she never tore up my headboard. Let's just say that. That's all I'm going to say. She liked my headboard.
So this is Ryan live in October. Okay. So you can make of it what you will. This is circumstantial evidence. Obviously, he's referring to a headboard, right? This happens in October 2025, the same time that she's leaking to People magazine about Gypsy Rose's future plans to marry Ken Urker. The headboard, whatever Ryan's talking about, does that mean it happens in October? No, it couldn't have happened in October if it allegedly ever did happen. Because remember, when they move to the new residence, they get a new bed. So it had to, if the headboard incident happened at all, it had to happen between June and September. Okay. If it's real. Just saying. Just saying. Okay. So Ryan comes out and does that, says that. There's another video with Ryan. I don't know if I have to bring it up. I might have to find it. Yeah, contacting Ryan. This is another problem that, let me bring that video up. This one is also quite telling about all this stuff. This also happened in October.
How have I not? I don't bother her.
This is, okay, just watch it. You'll know what it is.
People tell me to move on all the time. And I'm like, how have I not? I don't bother her.
This is Gypsy putting out stuff, complaining about Ryan, texting me at 2 a.m. like, WTF, I have actually been a good girl lately. This is what she writes. Okay. end of September, early October. I have actually been a good girl lately and have not said anything negative about him. This was so uncalled for. So that's that. Okay. So we know her and Ryan are going back, and we know that she was still contacting Ryan also, and Ryan would come out with something else after that. And so it was this triangle, triangulation of the men continues, even though she's sworn off drinking, is on an antidepressant, and they move to a new house and they get a new bed. Make of it what you will about the bed. Okay. I don't know. I can't prove anything about that myself. All right. And what else? Let me see with the timeline. Oh, okay. The other thing is, at the same time as she's leaking these stories to People magazine about her future plans to marry Ken and, all this, and I thought this was quite telling. So she's trying to get Ken. Okay, let me just say it. She's trying to get Ken to marry her. All right. She's doing everything she can. She's being good. I've been a good girl lately in that one I just showed you, right? I'm taking antidepressants. I'm stabilizing my mood. I'm not going to drink anymore. No more crazy shenanigans coming from me, right? The other thing she posts is about their daughter. Okay? She posts this about Aurora at the same time. Great news about Aurora. Why did she have to announce this then at this point is my question. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what I think in a minute. Great news about Aurora. We're overjoyed to share that our sweet girl Aurora has tested negative for the rare genetic condition known as microdeletion 1q21.1. This result brings us such immense relief and gratitude. Thank you to everyone who has kept us in your thoughts. Your support has meant the world. Aurora is happy, healthy, and growing beautifully at 4 months old. We're looking forward to cherishing every moment with her with lighter hearts and hopeful spirits. Gypsy, Rose, and Ken. Okay. So what does all this mean? What does all this mean? Why did I do this? Why did I make this timeline? Why did I show you all this? For this reason. When you look at it in a timeline, when you look at the behavior and everything that has happened, you're seeing certain cycles of behavior with her. We are not there behind the scenes, obviously, but we can see through these videos, through these, things that I have shared, we can see her pattern of behavior. And we can surmise that possibly there have been a lot of meltdowns, possibly behind the scenes, just by the things that I've shown you here. Can I prove it 100%? No, I can't. But since the big topic and what everybody is really upset about is this cutting up blanket video, I thought I would present you with some actually hardcore evidence of what was going on around that time. And then you guys can make up your own mind. Do you think the blanket video is just not a big deal? Or do you think it is a big deal? Do you think it's violence, domestic violence? Or do you think she was just, upset at the time and felt like, videoing herself cutting up a blanket? I think it's a pattern of behavior. This is my opinion, just my opinion. I think it's a pattern of behavior. I think it's a problem. I think it's a problem. Okay. I don't think that they should minimize it because of her history, of her crime. I think that they really should pay attention to it. All joking aside, I really think they should pay attention to it. And she supposedly is in therapy, but let me tell you about therapy. Therapy is only as good as what you want to get out of it. And if you don't think there's anything wrong with you, and if you're just going because it looks good to your boyfriend and to your family, then you're not going to get anything out of it, right? You have to actually want to change. You have to actually understand that you have a problem, right? And I don't think she's capable of that. I just don't think she is. And I could be wrong. I'm not a psychologist or anything like that. Okay. but I've been around a lot of psych patients in my time, and that this is just my opinion on her. All right. So I'd love to know what you guys, think. If you want to come back after I post the live stream and let me know, let me know, think about it for a minute. I think Ken should be careful. I don't know. I don't want to say anymore. I don't want to say something I don't want to say, but that's why I wanted to present it like this. I want to present it like this and leave the opinions up to you guys, what you guys think. Okay. I think I have a couple more videos. If you guys want to hang out for a minute, I got a couple more videos that I really would love to share with you that might get cut out because they might be copyright, but since we're live, I can play them. So just give me a minute here. Talk amongst yourselves because I got to clear out some more of these videos. Yeah, let me clear out these videos because there's a couple more here. Should I play that one? Yeah. That are really kind of goes to this whole thing. Okay. I'm going to upload these. I won't leave. I'll just stay here while I do it. Okay. Yeah, we want that one. Okay. Want
call the
that one and one more. I don't want to keep you guys like forever, but and that one. Okay. So these are just 3 other videos that while I was making this timeline and I was thinking about the whole pattern and picture of their relationship. And yeah, there is I know a lot of people don't think there's a baby, but and I respect everyone's belief on where you fall on the baby scale, right? The baby scale. But in the off chance there's that's concerning. And besides a baby, I'm an animal lover. I know a lot of you guys in chat are animal lovers. I saw Parker. I was like, oh my God, that poor dog. I mean, really, that poor dog during that whole thing. Okay. You'll remember this one. It's an oldie but goodie, but it goes to the same type of behavior. I call it the Gypsy hairbrush incident. I played this. I'm just going to make the same point. She decided to do this on camera. She likes to do things on camera, as we've seen over the last few days, meaning she didn't have to have this discussion while they were there. If she was very upset about the freaking hairbrush, why humiliate? My point is, she wanted to humiliate him. She wanted to do this for everyone to see. And I find that cruel. And I find the whole hairbrush thing just wacky anyways. But, okay, here we go. Okay, this one I don't remember this one, but it's I got it where Gypsy sex with something about Gypsy and sex. I'm like, let's play it, okay? It has to do something with their relationship. Let's go ahead and see what it is, all right?
We were intimate.
Upset here that after she had the baby, he had not initiated sexual relations right away, and that she was like upset. Like, when are we going to do it? And I did find that odd as a new mother. I was like, oh no, we're not going to do that right now, are we? I found that weird that she put so much emphasis on that. She was upset. And this next one too has to do with this. That's the place where the blanket video happened. You see here, watch, you'll see the pillars and this pressure.
I feel like more distant than ever. He thought everything was going great.
He thought everything was going great. So she's putting this he's like, well, I'm going to work. I'm doing what do you want? What's the problem? To her, what's wrong, right? And she's like putting this pressure. I'm not sure if it was about the sex at this point or what. It's around the same time frame, but it's again her constantly creating the drama. I mean, he even said it in the last clip. You create this. So okay, is it gone for you? The spark, the energy. What is she talking about? Like when you first meet somebody, right? That first blush of love, the newness. It's not real. It's, you know what I'm talking about. We're all mature adults here, right? When you meet somebody and you're infatuated with that person, if you click, right? And this infatuation happens, right? And you idealize the other person in each other's eyes. It's new. You haven't seen each other in a bad state. You haven't seen each other sick or on the toilet, or it's this idealized state. This is what she wants. No, that's not a mature adult. Okay. Life is life. And after you fall in love in this infatuation state, either you move to the next level of the relationship where you become realistic. This person has good and bad qualities. Do I still love this person? I know the good and bad qualities now. They say it takes about 6 months to 18 months to fully know somebody if you're dating in that kind of respect, right? You can't know somebody like that, right? But her whole thing has always been, we're soulmates. The moment we met, I knew it was him, and all this bullshit, okay, that she wants to believe in. And I think she puts pressure on the guy she's with. And I think this is partly, not the main reason, but another reason that she gets all spun out, because she wants this kind of a relationship, this constant, I'm in love with you relationship. And it's not real. You guys know it's not realistic expectations. And then after this clip was the next clip where she talks about we had sex. So it was about that. I remember how those clips went when I made a video about it. And then the next one was she gets all excited with the Lifetime crew. We had sex. And it was like, okay, calm down. Great. Happy for you. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's, what can I say? What can I say, guys? It's a real thing. And let me make sure that I've shown all the videos I need to show. Let me look over here, make sure there's not any other ones that are really interesting. No, I think that'll do it. Yeah. Well, you guys, I've gone over 2 hours. Oh God, 2:20, really? Okay. Let me get to some more of your comments. See what you guys have to say. Here we go. Mishy Cat, $5. She could have thrown the blanket out if she was that pressed and angry instead of having a tantrum and filming it right. Thank you. Yeah, sure. If you're mad and you're like, I don't want him to have that blanket anymore. I hate him right now. I don't want to, but yeah, it was a whole ordeal, right? It was that she needed to show him her doing violence to the blanket, All right, next up, and thank you for that, Mishy Cat. Appreciate it. Next up, Claire Powers, 10 pounds. Thank you, Claire. The people that support her and follow her are part of the problem. They enable her, and she continues about bad behaviors. 100%, Claire, 100%. She goes to them to see if she's doing okay. And when they affirm, oh, that's fine, that wasn't a big deal, she feels like, yeah, I'm doing fine. They say I'm doing fine. I must be doing fine, right? Good one, Claire. Okay. Next up, let's see. Jill B, 3072, 1399. Gypsy has been angry and jealous since childhood, like when Rod and Dee Dee divorced and Dee Dee tried to date a man. Oh my gosh, right? So allegedly, Jill, as you probably know, and many of you know, the story goes that Gypsy, and I think, did she even admit this? I can't remember where this story comes from, that she spit in this man's face. I'll have to look that up. But yes, she was definitely wanted all of her mom's attention, did not want her mom with any other man. And so Dee Dee kind of lived a celibate life after this one guy that took interest in her. Actually, as the story goes, this one man made a room for both of them at his house. Like, he was like this nice guy that was, trying to accommodate them. And Gypsy wasn't going to have any of it, is what I think. She's even talked about it. It might even be from her memoir. Yeah, I can't just remember too much. Next up, Too Much Mom, $10. Thank you so much, Too Much Mom. The demonic entity schmurdered by proxy and will do it again. Too Much Mom, thank you so much. You know what? A lot of people agree with you, Too Much Mom, that these behaviors, again, like I said with Betty Broderick, can be red flags. So thank you so much for that comment. Next up, we've got, let me see who we got here. Missouri Grandma, $5. Ken's going to regret defending Gypsy when he does want her to leave. Yeah. He's an idiot. There is no way their relationship will last. Well, Missouri grandma, from one grandma to another, I have to agree. And this is just my personal opinion. I do not see their relationship lasting at all. I don't think there's any way that relationship lasts. Now, how long is he going to stay? I don't know. But I do not see this relationship lasting at all. I totally agree with that. Okay. Next up, we've got Taminator 664, $2. August 2025 was when live. Okay, good one. Okay, I needed to put that on the timeline. Exactly. That would have been another big event. Thank you for the reminder on that, Taminator 664. So August 2025, again, Gypsy learns she has the meltdown. Leave me the fuck alone. She says she's going to self-harm. He has to take her to Austin. And this event, Lifetime not picking her up for another season, happened in August 2025. Good catch. Thank you for that. That's a very important thing to note on that timeline. Thank you for that, Taminator. Okay, next up, we've got, let's see, Jill B. Back again. Thank you, Jill B. So glad you went live today. So am I. I'm so glad I could spend this Sunday or Monday, depending on where you guys are at with you guys. I really appreciate you being here, Jill B. and the rest of you. Okay, next up, Spins for Wind, $4.99. She's dangerous, as are the people defending this psychotic behavior. Thanks for always speaking the truth, Becca. Well, Spins for Wine, thank you for being here in chat. Thank you so much. And I appreciate this, of course, is a great comment. She is dangerous, as are the people defending her, the psychotic behavior. Yeah. I was floored. When I saw it the first time, I was like, what? And it takes a lot to shock me. Okay. It takes a lot. That did. Okay. Next up. Let's see. Jill B again, member for 9 months. Gypsy going cray cray. Yep, for sure. For sure. Okay. Next up. Listen to the video. She replied. Okay. I'm not sure about this comment. Yelling Timber 01. Charlie was sent that video. She replied, wrong number. Charlie. Oh, Charlie was sent. Charlie, the TMZ lady. Oh, wow. Okay, good. Oh, wow. Okay. Charlie said wrong number. So she knew. Charlie knew. Yeah, she knows. So they're just using Gypsy at some point. I guess you guys saw in the TMZ when Gypsy went to TMZ with the guy. Who's the guy? Harvey Levin and his sidekick there. They humiliated her when she left. They were like laughing at her. It was like, they're like, cut the cameras. I'm sure you guys have seen that. If not, go find it. I don't have that video, or I'd show you. But yeah, they weren't on board with like, why is she here? But I guess Charlie wanted to do an interview with her, right? Okay. Next up, we've got one of our favorites, Words Matters, $4.99. You'd think after the FOIA release, she'd realize that only bad things happen when she records herself. Gosh, right? This is only year 2, and she has decades. It has decades aged. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for that. Words matter. And let's see. Next up, we got a few more. Tawny Tazajan, $5. Gypsy is so controlling. It's insane. Ken can't even have exes without her losing her mind, but she can still string Ryan along. Interesting. That's about sums it up. She can do what she wants with Ryan, and he shouldn't get mad about that. But I'm not even sure if Ken's right even contacting his ex. We don't know. She just kind of goes up. Next up, we got Mighty Mulatto coming in with $5. Thanks for being here, Mighty Mulatto. If I just drop cash on a house, I'd be pissed if a man who refuses to marry to legally, sans Ryan, claim his own daughter had mementos from an ex. Okay. If I had just dropped cash on a house, so like Ken, right? I'd be pissed if a man who refuses to marry to legally, without Ryan, claim his daughter had mementos from an ex. Yeah, I guess I would be pissed off too. Exactly. Thanks for being here, Mighty Mulatto. Next up, we got Estiana coming in, a member for 11 months. She set up the camera showing her colic baby too. Exactly. I mentioned that at the very beginning, Estiana. It is the same type of thing. These are manipulative videos. Granted, she's pissed off, really pissed off in the blanket one, totally annoyed in the baby colic one. But what's the common denominator besides Gypsy? She's using the camera to manipulate. This is meant for Ken. These videos were meant for Ken. And then the colic one went public. And then this one goes public too. And I'm wondering, I mean, I don't know. I'm like on the fence. Would Gypsy leak that video herself? Did Ken leak it? Or did Ken send it to somebody else who leaked it? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I don't know the answer to that. Yeah. Coming up next, we've got our favorite Forest friend who gifted one Becca Scoops membership. Thank you, Forest friend. You are always so kind. Thank you so much for being here. And next up, we've got Paula. Paula, hey girl, how are you? Thank you for being here. Paula Merkin, 5347, member for 4 months. I am always Team Becca, other person a troll. Well, Paula, thank you for being here. I know you're Team Becca, and I appreciate you so much. I really do, Paula. Thank you. And next up, we've got just a few more guys. At 611 insomnia at 6 insomnia. I can't always get your name wrong. At 6, I think it's 61. Oh, at 61 insomniac. That's right. Sorry. Are people still believing Gypsy's lies? A lot of people still are. Yep, that's still happening. Okay, and next up, we've got Jenna Howden, 7936, one of our favorites, member for 12 months. Thank you, Jenna. Great live, Becca. Thank you, Jenna. So glad that you were here. You're always so supportive too. Thank you, Jenna. And we've got a few more. Heather Daniels, member for 7 months. Good to see you, Becca. I have missed your lives. Well, Heather, I have missed all of you guys. I'm so glad I'm back. June should be a big month for our channel. Thanks for being here, Heather. And let me see how many more I have left. Is there a lot? No. I think we can get through these. Okay. Yeah. Where did I leave off at? Heather. Yeah. Okay. And next up, Big Time Bex 83, $2. Great lives, Becca. Please keep up the good work. Thank you so much, Big Time Bex. I appreciate that. And next up, Laura Lee, 8935. I missed you. I'm so happy to see you in chat. Thank you, Laura Lee. Thank you for all your support too. You've really been great. Thank you, Laura Lee. I really appreciate it. Next up, Bree with the Warrants, member for 6 months. I'm listening behind by 20 minutes or so, but I just want to say hi and that hands down, you're one of my faves because of the work you do. And that is what we love for you. You keep you eyes on the ball. I do. And I am keeping my eyes on the ball in more ways than you guys know. Next up, we got just a few others. Laura Lee, we love you, Becca. We love what you do and you do it. Well, thank you, Laura Lee. Thank you so much. Couple more. We got Caroline Cray, $5. I think she just snaps. I Googled the blanket scenario and the result was 1-800, are you okay? Okay. I think we could Google and get that result for a lot of things and a lot of people we know, right? Are you okay? Okay. Thank you for that, Caroline Cray. Next up, another Mighty Mulatto. Under Louisiana law, all Gypsy needed was a notarized DNA test, which she already had, and a current husband. Ken wasn't honorable. She had no choice but to deal with Ryan. That's on him. Yeah. Okay. So thank you for that, Mighty Mulatto. A current husband, Ken wasn't honorable. She had no choice. Yeah. So you're talking about that one where Ken gets upset that she had to deal with Ryan, right? Well, of course. And all of that's all on Ken too, right? They decided to get together immediately, when she had only been with Ryan for 6 weeks after they got out, all of that mess. And I agree with you, Mighty Mulatto. I agree. A couple more. We got Donna, the crazy cat lady, member for 8 months, who says, love, adore, and worship you, Becca. Keep up the great work. Oh, you're so sweet, Donna, the crazy cat lady. I am going to keep up the good work. I hope it's good work. I hope you guys appreciate it. And thank you so much for being a member for 8 months. I really do appreciate that. Thank you so much. And next up, we got Pink Porcupine for 12 months, member for 12 months, consider access to diagnosis. Yeah. Well, I will get more into that Pink Porcupine maybe on my next video, but you are correct. I think you know a little bit about psych. You understand what access to and the D/O. Yeah. Thanks for that, Pink Porcupine, and access to for sure. Yeah. Next up, we've got Floragal 9371, $5. Happy to be here with everyone. Keep on doing your thing. I will. Thank you, Floragal. Love the beautiful picture of flowers there. Floragal 9371. And guys, one more. We got Connie Blue Skies coming in with $1.99 super chat. Connie Blue Skies, thank you so much. So happy that you're here. So happy all of you guys are here. We have gone way over the limit. I want to thank everybody in the chat. You guys are the best chat. I swear to God, you guys are the best people I know. I mean it. I mean it. You guys are fun. You guys are smart, high IQ, and I really appreciate it. We've got a lot of things going on here at this channel that you guys would be going like, what? I mean it. You'd be going, what? I mean it. And so we're going to be bringing out some things in the near future, a new deep dive that Mitch and I are working on, and a few other things. We may branch out. Like we've been talking about Mackenzie Shirilla, but Gypsy, we are going to be covering Gypsy. Do not worry about that. We will be doing that. And for all of June is going to be a fun month with our live streams. We're going to be trying a couple of new things. We're going to get Mitch to join me for one too. So you guys can look forward to that. He has a nice haircut. See, he had to go testify in this murder trial in downtown San Diego. So his little gray ponytail had to go. He had to get like the police officer haircut to go testify. And so I go, you look good now. No reason why you can't come on a live stream. So we're going to get him on. And so I hope you guys will look forward to that. Besides that, I guess that'll do it for Becca Scoops for this Sunday. You guys, I love you so much. I hope you guys have a great rest of the day or morning or whatever time it is, wherever you guys are. For me and Keegan's abandoned me on this one. I'm sorry. But for all of us here over at the Becca Scoops channel, you guys have a great evening. Becca Scoops.